support that you really need. You have to find it yourself, and if you're lucky, you do, and if you're not lucky, you don't. And this is what I think is so, randomized, and the system doesn't work properly, I think. So that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. And I hope this channel will be a sort of a place where you can feel that this is genuine. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to say what I think and what I've experienced. And my experiences will be my experiences. But I've talked to thousands, and I mean thousands, of neurodivergent people. And I do talk to neuro, that was a good dialect shift, people all the time. I have members in my membership program, and I have been a guide and a couch coach. Couch. That was a good name. Couch. I can see it. They're lying on the couch, but they don't. It's online. It's like when my mind is distracting me with, say some, come with a different word, I always have to comment on it. I don't know why. I think it's a divergent trait. Yeah, so I'm not going to be, excuse me for a moment. I think this is there you go. The microphone was in my earring. I'm not ever going to excuse the fact that I get distracted, or, that I do things with my hands. I talk with my hands, and that I, laugh with my own jokes, and that, I'm clumsy at times, because I think it's important to be who you are. And I've, I've been there, done that, hid who I am, hid all my feelings and all my exciting feelings as well. I get so incredibly excited, and I really, truly love that about me. But I didn't. I felt ashamed because, the reactions were, wow, calm down. That was not cool. Don't be too excited. Don't be too dramatic. Don't be too anything. So, of course, I adjusted. And the smarter you get at it, the better you get. And of course, it depends on who you surround yourself with. And today I can choose that. And that's my joy, that I know that I can put up my own boundaries and da 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 da, cut out all the shit and toxic influences in my life, and so can you. And my absolute joy, my is of course my neurodivergent family and girls, and I have two biological children, two girls, and both are neurodivergent. The eldest got her diagnosis ADHD when she was 20 and 21, I think, and the youngest, getting 18 soon, she's ADHD. She didn't get the autism diagnosis until last year, and she got the ADHD when she was 12. And when she got the ADHD diagnosis, that was when I also got mine straight after hers. And that's a typical story. I've heard so many that, especially women and adults who get their diagnosis after their kids have gotten theirs. So I'm not going to tell you my whole life story. I'm just going to introduce myself and say that, none of this is complete. I'm going to make my own banner, and I'm going to have some intro music and more microphone. I have no idea how that sounds. Um, but I'm impulsive, and I'm like diving into things without really being prepared, because I'm people wait until they are prepared. But, I never feel prepared. So I get perfectionistic if I wait, or if I'm too obsessed by being prepared. So that's why I always jump before I'm ready, like this one. So you will get the raw material here. You don't get the um, polished, hired in help design system here. You get the raw version of a divergent person, and people might find me rude. I am rude, but and or too honest or controversial in what I think and feel about the whole thing. And um, I do have traits of PDA, and definitely ODD, and also the pleaser gene. So it's I do it all. Okay, so all of those are parts of me, and in here I will talk about everything. I'm not leaving anything out. I think the parts that people leave out are always the most interesting, and always the most important things to talk about. So feelings, for instance, the difficult feelings, our health, our bodies, our everything concerning um, vulnerable. Vulnerable. It's impossible to say. Vulnerability. Um, and people think they are vulnerable when they speak about their feelings, but it's really the feelings that, when you speak about them and you get emotional, that's the vulnerable thing, when people can see that you are feeling anything. I live in Norway, and it's very usual, very normal here, typical, to not show any um, too excited emotions or anything. You should really be very um, like smiling and happy and content and always the same. And this is really hard for divergent people like myself, because I'm nothing like that at all. So whenever there's a chance to talk to people from other cultures, for instance, I love that, because they are so different than the Norwegian standards of don't make yourself seen, don't think you are anything, don't think you're better than anyone, and that's okay. And the microphone is going again, but it's like we are so afraid of putting ourselves first, and it's looked upon as selfish in a negative way. So that's why it's so difficult to be yourself, because in order to really love and accept yourself, it's it will show. It will show if you love yourself, and you shouldn't be showing that here in Norway. So it's really we talk about loving ourselves, but showing it, then you're that's over the limit, guys. And loving yourself has nothing to do with being selfish. Loving yourself is you get less selfish, and you don't focus so much about yourself, because it's you're not so dependent on the feedback from other people. So I have a lot to say about that, but I'm going to not have this broadcast too long. So, and hopefully somebody will see it, and maybe comment, maybe put in the, I think the chat is I think you can write in the chat. This is my first time, so I'm hoping. I um, and I've promised myself this is also a thing. Um, the expectations we come with, the expectations we have before we do anything, really, really decides how you jump into things, how you can, work against your perfectionism, how you have the courage to get your courage to do instead of waiting around making it all perfect. And then, when it's perfect, which is not the thing, perfect doesn't exist, guys. And but if you wait around till you feel it's good enough, then your chance is gone, because probably you will be death tired of the whole thing and not so inspired anymore. So you should be nervous when you do something, and you should do it before you are totally ready. And I'm doing that right now, as I said in the beginning. And I think, having a script, I've never, liked that. And it's so easy to spot. And I think that if you do, just read from a script, or you have scripted things too well, it doesn't come, you know, it doesn't come naturally. It doesn't seem real. And then you should just make a video instead, or have an AI do the job because it's I don't think it's any interesting at all, So if you're going to listen to someone speak really, and be real. Oh my god, this, microphone is killing me. Um, it should be without a script, and hopefully, and maybe people will join me after some time, and we could have interactions in the chat, because that's it. Connection. You can connect online, and in my generation, I was born in the 70s, so we didn't grow up with internet. So many on my age, they don't have the willingness or courage, or to do anything online. Um, so I think it's important also for my generation to be visible, to the kids need role models, and they don't need polished, um, insanely rich, famous people as role models. They need normal, divergent people who is not afraid to be real and to be firm, or to speak your mind, and also to continuously improve. Because it's not because I have a result in my mind, it's because there's always something to learn. And that's one of my values, to always be growing. So, and growing is a little bit painful, guys, and but without it, you really get stupider. You get more stupid if you don't learn. I read that when you stop evolving, when your brain has stopped, and it doesn't really stop, they know that now, but when say you're 30 and 35 and 40, then your brain cells will start to die, and if you don't make new ones, you will get less. So that means you're dying slowly and getting stupider every second. So, and I'm not about getting stupider, okay? Because the generation Z, or any generation after us, they need us. They need our, wisdom and experience because it's so important that we transfer that knowledge we have gained also through the generation, and they can put out the best parts. They can use the best parts, and we have to learn from them. So that's how you keep your brain alive, I think. Uh, this was an all over the place introduction. I'm hoping to see you again, and to have interesting discussions about neurodivergency, because I think there's so much we don't know, and there's views that are controversial. It's not about, you know, I'm all about science. I'm all about studying, and I'm all about, research. Um, but I'm also about experience and really getting your knowledge by speaking to the individual person itself. So uh, there will be many topics, and I hope to evolve in this YouTube landscape.